أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا ورضوان الله تعالى على أصحابه الراشدين العادلين والتابعين لهم بخير وإحسان إلى يوم الدين وعلينا معهم وفيهم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين يا أرحم الراحمين يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم نور قلوبنا، اللهم طهر قلوبنا من الرياء والنفاق. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا ونعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع. وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وسلم. So, brothers and sisters in Islam, we are beginning with the second majlis, the second reading in this blessed month of Rabi al-Awwal, and this is the what we are going over for night number 2 from Silsilah al-Ibriz bi Aziz, that goes through the sanad of the Itra of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, through Sayyid Abu Muhammad al-Hasan al-Balkhi radiallahu an, that goes back through the sanad from Zain al-Abidin Ali ibn Hussein to al-Hussein ibn Sibt to Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhum, back to the Prophet Muhammad alayhi aflus salam. Hadith number 3. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم الحرب خدع. الحرب خدع. This means war is deception. War is deception. Some of the scholars have mentioned, let's get to the takhrij first of this before we continue. The takhrij of that. And by the way, the previous night we neglected the takhrij of al-Majalis bil-Amana, but that other hadith, it also came through al-Khatib al-Baghdadi, and also through the great Sahabi Jabir ibn Abdullah, which Abu Dawud narrated rahimahullah ta'ala, and also through besides Abu Dawud and al-Khatib al-Baghdadi, through the riwayah of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, his Musnad, Imam al-Tirmidhi, and al-Qada'i, and Musnad of Shihab, and the Musannaf of Abdul Razak, as well, and of the Shia. The same hadith came from al-Kulaini and al-Kafi, and Sheikh al-Saduq, and 2 of his books, al-Faqih and al-Mu'adhid, which again I've never heard of those, and Sheikh al-Tusi and his al-Amali, which I have heard of that text. So the takhrij of al-Harb al-Khuda goes, the Shaykhain narrate this, meaning al-Bukhari wa Muslim, may Allah's mercy be upon both of them, through Abu Huraira. Musnad Ahmed narrates it through Anas ibn Malik, and Ka'ab ibn Malik from Abu Dawud, and Ibn Majah from both Ibn Abbas and Aisha, and al-Bazar through Hussein ibn Ali, and as well as at Tabarani from Hussein ibn Ali alayhi salam. So we have several people who have narrated this hadith, different chains of narration. So this hadith does not rise to the level of mutawatir, but it could be said to be mashhur at the least. And then also the Shia narrate this same hadith. Al-Kulaini narrates it in Al-Kafi, and Sheikh al-Saduq, and also Sheikh al-Tusi in his book At-Tahdhib narrates it as well. So again, we have these hadith that are narrated from Ahlul Sunnah and also from al-Imamiyah that reference these Harb al-Khuda, brothers and sisters in Islam. Uh, one of the explanations behind this is we can give the sabab or the occasion, and then also explain further. So, war's deception. It is said that there was a man who accepted Islam from Bani Qurayza, and we know this is one of the Jewish tribes, and this was before the time of Ghazwa Khandaq, the Battle of the Ditch, also known as Ghazwatul Ahzab, the Battle of Confederates. And Surah Ahzab is the 33rd surah in the Quran. If you go to Medina, right outside of Medina, you can. There's a location called Jamil Khandaq, and which is a newer masjid. It wasn't even around when I first went to Medina 20 years ago. And there's masajid that are there where different companions were at and prayed. And this is a location when Abdullah ibn Umar Waliullah used to go and pray in one area where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed at, as Ibn Umar believed that location, that prayers were qabul and dua was mustajab, and this same location where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed at, that he did so, pray there. So this man from Bani Qurayza came and accepted Islam from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he went back to Bani Qurayza and he hid his Islam that he accepted, to see about them talking and see if they were plotting against the righteous Sahaba during the Battle of Khandaq. And as we know, they had a plot of treason, and the plot of treason was actually foiled. So this man, in a sense, practiced what we would call taqiyya for the purpose of war. He hid his faith amongst the people, and he acted basically, we could say, as like a jasus or a spy, spying on the enemy. So this is one of the times that it's acceptable to lie, we can say, or to hide certain information about one's allegiances, not during times of, let's say, a so-called social justice movement in a peaceful land, or a land in which we can speak the truth, do al-amr bil ma'ruf nahi munkar without fear of immediate arrest. We're talking about in the time of war, hostility, when enemies are picking up arms and seeking to kill us. They seek to kill believers in that particular time or location. Then this is a time of al-harb al-khuda, in which war is deception as a stratagem. In the next hadith, قال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم المسلم مرآة المسلم المسلم مرآة المسلم, that the Muslim is a mirror of a fellow Muslim. So besides Ali, this was also narrated from Abu Huraira, and it is mentioned in meaning from Abu Dawud in the Tirmidhi. It is mentioned, and also by Imam Bukhari in Al-Adab al-Mufrad mentions it. At-Tabarani in his book Makarim al-Akhlaq, At-Tabarani's book on the noble traits of character. Also Imam Bukhari in his Sahih, At-Tabarani in Al-Awsat is also is mentioned, and also Qada'i and Musnad al-Shihab, with the love of beloved the al-mu'minu mi'atul mu'min. So it carries the same meaning in a sense that the Muslim is the mirror of the other Muslim. El-Muslimu mi'atul Muslim, el-mu'minu mi'atul mu'min. So the Muslim is the mirror of the other Muslim, or the believer is the mirror of the fellow believer. And from the Shia sources, Sheikh al-Saduq mentions this in Mu'adh with the bilavdihi muslimu miratu li akhihi, that the Muslim is the mirror of his Muslim brother. So we there are two things. Number one is that the the adab the adab of a believer, right, and the Muslim is that when they truly love their brother or they love their sister, that when they see things about them that are good, noble character traits, that uh, they, number one, see those traits and they seek to emulate those good prophetic traits, and that they don't try to dissuade the believers or the Muslims from those traits. Likewise, if a believer or a Muslim sees certain behaviors or certain actions in a Muslim brother or Muslim sister, that perhaps they may not see their own behavior or how they're coming off, then the Muslim brother or sister should pull the fellow Muslim brother or sister to the side and quietly give them nasiha without seeking to embarrass them. And one of the things that we must also keep in mind, that if we do nothing but see bad in other Muslims, then in fact that could be a reflection on our own internal spiritual states. That if we say, oh, the Muslims are ruined, there's no khair amongst the Muslims, that means there's something wrong with us, right? But a Muslim, if they are looking for good and based upon sound spiritual states inside of themselves, that they have husnul dhan for the believers, then that they will then see the goodness in the ummah. They will see goodness amongst the Muslims, right? And those things they see that are small faults or mistakes, the first thing we should interrogate ourselves on: do we have this inside of ourselves? How do we show up? Are we talking or acting in the same way that this person is? So we should look at ourselves. Firstly, my brothers and sisters in Islam, this ends the second majlis for this auspicious month of Rabi al-Awwal, the first spring. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sallam, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.